Titles. Here's how you get titles to repeat across the top of printed pages in Excel. Here's my sales figure projection spreadsheet, which you've probably seen in several chapters before this one. And right now I've adjusted the print range to have 3 pages. So I need to print out 3 pages of data. Now, for starters, if you were to tell me that you had to print out 3 pages of numbers, I'd start by questioning why you actually need to give someone all these numbers. I mean, if you handed me a page full of numbers, I'd say, yeah, that's really nice, but I'd ignore it. So that's the first thing you should analyze. If you're giving someone several pages filled with numbers and numbers and numbers, you might as well give them your digital spreadsheet. It's going to be a lot easier for them to read. But for the sake of argument, let's say that you actually did need to give them these pages. Now, the worst thing you can do is give them pages exactly like this, where you have one page with titles on the columns, and the next 2 pages are simply empty of titles, and you just get numbers and numbers and numbers. So if I open the document to this page, I don't know what it is I'm looking at. So what do we do to put this title on every single page? Well, fortunately, Excel has a solution which we can use. I'm going to go to View and switch to Normal View, so it's much easier to see. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the Page Layout tab, and in the Page Layout, there's this option which says Print Titles. And what you do there is you define the rows that Excel is going to repeat on every single page that it prints. So what I need to do is tell Excel to take these 4 rows and repeat them across the top of each page, and I've solved my problem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to step into Print Titles, and see it says print area, and that's the range that I just defined for printing. And right here it says rows to repeat at the top. That's exactly what I need to set. What rows repeat at the top? So what I do is I come here and I select rows 2, 3, 4, and 5. And it says rows 2 to 5. And I click OK, and that's all I need to do. From there on, those 4 rows are going to appear at the top of every page. Have a look right here. See, there's the titles, page 2, there's the title, page 3, and 4. Notice that since I included these rows at the top, now I have 4 pages instead of 3. So that's something you should really take into account. If you have, for example, 20 pages and it turns out you add a title, well, you might end up with 30, 40 pages, and if you need to make 40 or 50 copies of that document, that's going to be money you're going to be spending on copies. And most of the time, you're going to be spending it without a real need to spend it. Because like I said, most people don't want to look at sheets full of numbers, and most people aren't going to sit down and analyze what this number for store 107 in region 173 means, and they're not going to say, well, why do you have 9,000 here and 1,000 here? That's not something that people really do most of the time, unless you're getting audited or something like that. If you're getting audited, by all means, print this stuff out in all the necessary details. But if you're giving an executive report or a monthly report to a manager or something, I mean, do them a favor. Don't give them all this data. And if you need to give them all this data, give it to them in a digital spreadsheet format. It's going to be much easier for them. But if you need to print titles across the top of your pages, that's how you do it. Print titles, rows to repeat at top, select your rows, and press OK, and you're done. You can also do this with columns. For example, if you were printing several pages horizontally, what you could do is go to Print Titles, Columns to repeat at left, and just select this column here with region code. And now that column is going to print out on every page horizontally as well. Now, one thing you should watch out for that I've seen a lot of people do, they come to me saying, well, I can't get this thing to work. I select the titles and they don't appear on every page. And I tell them, okay, show me what you do. And what they're doing is they're selecting these rows like this, and then they press Print Titles, and then they press OK. And they think that this sets the print titles. It doesn't. I mean, if I select these rows here and press Print Titles, nothing's going to happen. Look, I have rows to repeat at top 2, 5. And if I do here, 11 through 17 and press Print Titles, it's still 2, 5. In order to set your title rows, What you need to do is first step into print titles and then step into this option, rows to repeated row at top. And once you have this window, then and only then do you select the rows or the columns. That's how you set your titles. And that's how you get them to work in Excel and show up on every printed page. Thanks for watching this video tutorial. If you liked the video, be sure to subscribe to our channel and to visit our website, cubicleoverlords.com, for more instructional videos like this one.